How's it going, Alberto? So let's see. So far, I think the week's going well. The Let me know what you think about the weight. Based on what you were saying, weight's going to be pretty slow. You want to take things slow, so I'm assuming it's kind of in line because it looks like I am losing weight, just like pretty slow. I would say it seems like it's probably around a half a pound a week. That's what it looks like. But I mean, I guess you can see what's going on there. Strength, I think, largely is keeping steady. So I'm not so far nothing crazy. I wouldn't expect it anyway because I haven't lost much weight. So I guess let me kind of go through the questions for the week. So the first thing is, how do you? I don't know if I've already asked this question before, but when you have an AMRAP set, how are you normally progressing on it? And by that I mean, are you usually just trying to say every set I just want to go as hard as I can? But I feel like there's a little bit of strategy to that because if you just go 100% on the first set, all of a sudden on your later sets you find out you can barely do any reps. And for me, I'm always kind of at a loss because usually I'm like, oh, let me try to add a rep here or there without any real planning on oh, actually on this third set, I want to go from 10 to 11 reps. So I'm just curious what your thinking is when it comes to those AMRAP sets. The next question I had was I know you were mentioning the seated lat raise, and when do you think I should move on to that? So let's say, for example, right now, I'm doing, I guess for my lat raises, I'm doing 20 pounds for 3 sets of 15, standing. What should I keep doing that 20 pounds for 3 sets of 15, or should I convert to the seated now? And with the seated, should I use the same weight? Because I know you said it's going to be harder. Or should I use a lower weight? So I was kind of wondering some guidance on what should I be doing with the seated, or I should just stick to the standing, and how much I should reduce the weight or something like that, or the reps. So there's that. I think a good thing, the inverted row, the squeezing the glutes. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it because I think I know intuitively that squeezing your glutes locks your joints, but for some reason I just wasn't thinking about it when I was doing the inverted row. So if you see my video now, I got less reps, but it was way more strict because before my knees were bent, and that makes it a much easier movement. Now with my legs completely locked out, it's a lot harder. But yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Plus I kind of needed some progression for that anyway, just because it was a bit too easy, I think, when I had my knees bent, because I was already getting the 15 reps. I kind of want to build up to that. Let me know about the pen lay rows. Let me know, basically, I'm wondering whether I should decrease the weight even more. I went from 175 to 165 on my 12 rep sets. And if you can see that, from this is the video that I sent you is my last set. So this is obviously when I'm the most fatigued. And on that last set, if you see the first 10 reps were clean. I was looking at it, I don't think I saw any movement in my hips at all. That was a very strict, I think, probably 95% strict. The last 2 reps, though, there was a bit of form breakdown. At that point, the weight was actually starting to get pretty heavy for me because that was the third set and I had 2 reps left. And you can see that there is a little bit of movement in the hips, making me wonder whether I should stick with that 165 and get 95% of those clean reps and maybe trying to struggle with those last 2, or should I go down to somewhere 155 or 160 and ensure that every single rep is going to be that smooth. But also, I also don't want to decrease the weight too much because then I think that sets a precedent of I'm just getting kind of lazy in terms of my selections. So let me know whether that 165 is fine, or whether I should reduce it more, and kind of what it looked like. Also another thing I was more just curious about. I've always wondered, do you think there's anything that I'm really missing out in my basement gym that I would need to get, or something? It was more just out of curiosity, whether there's something that I was really missing in terms of a body part that I'm hitting that I just don't have the equipment for. And that was more just a curiosity on my part on whether I was actually doing anything with it. Just curious what your thoughts are on that. Yeah, that's about it though. I mean, nothing crazy happened. I'm so far I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I've noticed that the volume is going up though, slowly but surely going up. So this week was definitely harder. It was actually a bit of a struggle, whereas before it was more just kind of almost a breeze getting through those first 2 weeks. And I think I'm just seeing how the progression is. I think next week's going to be pretty rough. So I'm hoping I can hit everything on that week, because it looks like after that it kind of drops back down again and then it builds up. So Yeah, I'm gonna start push pretty hard next week and see what happens. Yeah, that's it.